In this video, I wanted to do a follow-up to a video I did a few months back. And that video was titled, Why JavaScript is an Amazing First Programming Language. And the first point I made was that it's easy to start and get into, a lot easier than some of these other languages that are statically typed. We have to learn all of these different things before you jump in. It's as simple as opening up your browser, turning on the developer tools, going into the JavaScript console, and then you can start learning how to code right away. So I can do something like name equals Jesse, name.length, 5 characters in my name. I can take a sample text like this from anywhere. I could take this, copy this from anywhere, put it in quotes, and now I can do text.length, 221 characters. Or I can do stuff like split on empty spaces, and then do a dot length, and now I've got 38 words. I can also do stuff like to uppercase, so everything is uppercased there. Or if I needed it for some reason, I could do everything to lowercase, and every capitalization has been removed. Pretty helpful. You can come in here into a console. Because it's a REPL, it loads right away and responds right away. And even as I'm typing, it'll tell you what the variable name is, or if I'm doing math, say I wanted to do 100 times 365. Oh, there it is. It's already there. Pretty great. This is the first point. It's easy to get into, and you can use things like your browser or your terminal and start learning how to code right away. You don't need anything fancy. All the major browsers, Chrome, Safari, Firefox, support developer tools. So I'd encourage you, if you haven't coded, haven't tried learning JavaScript, to open up your browser and start trying it out. Number 2, see your code with HTML and CSS. See your code live. As you save, you can start seeing your changes. In this example, I have 2 files. I have an index.html and a styles.css file. And I have a simple h1, which is a heading for this document here. And then I also have a div, which I'm going to make into a button as I style it. I've included the styles. If you're not familiar with HTML, don't worry about this. And then also in my code editor here, I have something called live server. And if I click go live, it'll open a browser. It opens a port, and it starts serving my HTML file for me automatically. So when I save JavaScript, let's say TypeScript, if I save it, it changes. Pretty awesome. So let's keep it at JavaScript, since that's the title of this video. And let's add some styles. Say I'm learning how to do HTML and CSS and JavaScript. Well, I can do HTML, and I can do background color black, for example. That changes my background color, which isn't great for my H1. So then I can go into my H1 and change its color to something cool like dark cyan. Oh, and then I save, and it loads automatically. Let's say I want this to be bigger. I can do font size, and then something like 50 pixels. And now it's larger. And then what about that button that I made? Well, I made it a class, so I'm going to add dot button. And then in here, I'm going to do background color. Let's do white. That looks terrible. Let's give it a width, 100 pixels. Let's give it a height of 40 pixels. Let's round those borders, border radius. Let's do 25 pixels, nice and round. Let's center this, display flex, justify content center, align items center. Now it's centered. I'm not a CSS expert or design specialist, but I'm not really a designer in any sense, but I can do something like button. On the hover state, let's do background color like light gray. So now when I hover over it, it turns light gray. And then also we can do set the cursor to pointer so that it looks like a button now when I hover over it. this is a small example of why I think JavaScript is an amazing programming language, because you can see your code right here. You can style it. I can add JavaScript to this file and start actually making an app right here with just 3 files in my folder here. If you look in here, I only have 2 files right now, index.html and CSS. It's amazing. If I add a JS file, JavaScript file in here, I can start loading that file in code. It's pretty awesome. Number 3, there's a large supported community. If you look in here, do a search of React, there's almost 500,000 questions, which is a JavaScript framework. For CSS, there's almost 800,000 questions in Stack Overflow that have been asked. For JavaScript, there's almost 2.5 million questions asked. Now, I don't know what the ratio of unanswered, but that's still a lot. That's like almost 2 million that have been either upvoted or accepted. That's pretty great. There's a large community. There's people that you can talk to on different Discord chats and blogs and all kinds of things where you can have a community helping you learn to code and code along with. Number 4, there's a bunch of great frameworks and tools. React is just one example. If you look at their community page, it says React has a community of millions of developers. Also, React has really great docs. I learned React. I still use React. I think it's fantastic. But there's more newer tool setups that you can use, like Next.js and a bunch of other things that keep coming up, Turbo and all kinds of stuff. I'd check those out. But there's a lot of really great frameworks and tooling to help you along the way. And last but not least, number 5, something that's really exciting to me is you can actually run JavaScript on your computer. Now this it calls lower level APIs of your operating system. It works cross-platform, all kinds of all types of computers, Mac, PC, Windows, etc. You can access lower level functions of your computer. So here's a kind of a naive example, but basically I import the file system module that Node provides. Now I have Node already installed on my computer. I've set a file name. I just want to call it output.txt. And then I want to get an argument passed into the command that I run. Or if I don't provide an argument, I'll just sub JavaScript in. I'm going to save that in some text here. JavaScript, or whatever language I want, is actually an amazing first programming language. Then I'm going to call the file system's write file sync command or function or method. I'm going to pass in my file name and my text, and it's going to create a file for me on my computer. I'll show you how that works. I just run node, and then I run create text file, which is what I've called this file. And now if I look, I get my file created console log here. And if I look, I have an output.txt file. So if I want to open that file, I can just cat that file out and show look, JavaScript is actually an amazing first programming language. Hooray. Now, this might not sound that amazing to you, but the fact that you can access files and folders and text files on your computer means you can do anything you want with Node. You're not limited to the browser anymore. Before you were limited to the browser, but now that Node has come along, we have tools and we've have it set up so that you can run full-blown applications just with JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. This is why JavaScript is an amazing first programming language. It's not really limiting in so many ways, and you can do so much with it, and you can learn how to code with it. One thing that's cool is if I call this function, I do like, oh, let's do Python. It creates the file again. It just overwrites it, same file. I can cat that output. Now it says Python is actually an amazing first programming language. So you can take feedback. I could have a text window pop up and do something and save it to a database in the back end, and all kinds of things that you can do in Node. So I hope that this was helpful for you. Let me know if there's anything that you would like to see coming up on this channel. If you would like you have any questions, or you'd like to learn anything related to any of this content, like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks for watching.